Good afternoon. This is Paris. Amazing to be back. It's been 5 years. 2017, the last time that I was here, same time of year in winter, Gare de l'Est, the train station where I just got off the train coming from Luxembourg. Now, I wasn't planning on filming a video right now, and then I saw this super cool, like, it's a homeless person's house, I guess. Madness. A creative explosion of kaleidoscopic colors. If you're gonna be living on the streets, might as well try to have fun with it, huh? Okay, I am walking towards my hotel. I have a hotel reserved that I just reserved on the train there for 5 nights. This looked like a pretty interesting neighborhood, so I thought that I would wander through, just capture the street scenes. Of this absolutely one-of-a-kind city with a history like nowhere else in the world of war and art, culture, fashion, food, wine, architecture. From so many different ages of history. And so I mentioned that the last time that I was here was 5 years ago, winter of 2017. I was here for, I think, also like 5-6 days, something like that. I remember it was a lot colder. It was below freezing, and I was not really prepared for the weather. Now it is chilly, but super pleasant. I'm actually like a little bit overheating. I think like in the 40s Fahrenheit. I'm actually loving the change in the weather from sunny, tropical, humid Mexico, where I was on the Yucatan, enjoying this crisp air, the change from bright sunlight. The clouds are certainly rather gray, but enjoying it. I always like to get a taste of winter. Man, oh man, there is a big old arch down there. Let's walk down there. And so the last time I was here 5 years ago, and the last time that I was in Paris before that was a long time earlier, 1990. I was 18 years old, and pardon me for telling stories I've told before, but here I am in Paris, and I know that not everybody has heard these stories, so I'll revisit them. I arrived in London in May of 1990, traveled throughout the British Isles, and then took a ferry from Ireland to Le Havre, which means the harbor of France, and then a train here direct to Paris. Arrived with these 2 American guys that I'd met on the ferry coming from Ireland, and we all looked for a hotel room together. I think that was just for the first night. we stayed in a hotel, some cheap hotel, and then I guess they took off and continued their traveling or something, and I stayed in Paris for another few days at a hostel, but it was raining a lot. And after a month on the British Isles with lots of rainy weather there, then I was really craving some sunshine. I had a travel guidebook for Europe, a Let's Go. It was called the guidebook. I guess I probably flipped through it and was trying to decide where can I go, where's the best place that is going to be nice and sunny and getting hot. This was early June, and I decided to head for Greece. So I left Paris on a train using my Eurail pass that I had for 2 months. It would cover all train travel for 2 months, and so I went by train and just went straight on down through Italy, probably changed trains somewhere, but got to Brindisi, Italy, where I caught the ferry from there over to Corfu Island, Greece, and then spent the next month exploring Greece. But then I came back to Paris again and had further adventures here 2 different times. But I think that I will save those stories for another video in which I will tell the stories of sleeping out on the streets of Paris and my backpack getting stolen. Another story that I told before, but since I'm in Paris once again, maybe I'll revisit those stories and also the places, the exact spots where I slept out and where my backpack was stolen while I was sleeping. Because there were 2 different instances of me sleeping on the streets in different places during that summer. So anyways, there is lots more to come from Paris, including stories and, of course, more exploring of the city and showing the beauty of this just incredible city. And so here we have a arch that I don't know what it is, but let's try to figure it out with the phone here, and also confirm if I'm not going the right direction. I'm sort of going off at an angle, but this was definitely worth it to see this and this scene. Unbelievable. So what's with these tents? Is this homeless people or some sort of other reason why there's tents? But really a shame if homeless people are camping under an arch. That shouldn't be happening at a, historic monument. Just incredible. Okay, I am overheating, so I'm going to put the camera down for a minute and then also figure out which way I need to go, that way or that way, and then keep on walking with the film rolling. Port Saint Martin. The Port Saint Martin is a Parisian monument located at the site of one of the gates of the now destroyed fortifications of Paris. It is located at the crossing of Rue Saint Martin, Rue du Faubourg Saint Martin, and the Grand Boulevards. The Port Saint Martin was designed by architect Pierre Boulette, a student of Francois Blondel, architect of the nearby Port Saint Denis at the order of Louis the 14th in honor of his victories on the Rhine and in Franche-Comté, built in 1674. It replaced a medieval gate in the city walls built by Charles V. It was restored in 1988. So, 1674, more than 300 years old. So, I need to go that way, but that way looks more interesting. So, I'm going to go down there a little ways and then head in the direction of my hotel. It's like a 2-mile walk away still. I could, of course, take the metro, but it is a nice day for walking, and the best thing to do in Paris is go for a walk. Just trip out on the city. So I thought that I would tell a story while I'm walking along here. This is a super random thing that just happened recently in Mexico. Not a dramatic travel story. It is the story of trying to get breakfast at my hotel, where I was staying in Playa del Carmen my last few days, but it's just kind of a funny, awkward situation, travel story. You know, those little things that happen that aren't going to make it into a video. Just the silliness of situations that can transpire. And so I was in Playa del Carmen just, 4 or 5 days ago or so. I flew from Cancun to Brussels, Belgium, stayed there one night, and then took the train to Luxembourg and stayed there for just 2 nights. And so I've just been in Europe for a few days. So I check into a hotel in Playa del Carmen on the Yucatan of Mexico. And the reception lady tells me that there's breakfast included with my reservation, which I didn't realize, so that was a nice little surprise. And so the next morning, in my usual style, then here, let's get a closer look at this entryway into this beautiful building. National Conservatory of the Arts. And so the next morning there in Playa del Carmen, then, in my usual style, then I'm a little late for breakfast. It was like 10:50 breakfast stopped at 11, and I decided to go for it and see if I would still have time to get breakfast. So I go down there. Now, the lady at the reception desk the previous night when I checked in had just said breakfast is served in this one room. And so I go into that room, I ask somebody if breakfast is still available. They say yes, and then take a seat. So I'm waiting for a few minutes, and then the guy comes up to me. He speaks very good English, and he asks for my voucher. I don't have a voucher. The reception lady didn't say anything about a voucher, and so he says, okay, you have to go to the reception desk and get your voucher. So I go to the reception desk. There's nobody there. I'm looking around, waiting for the lady to come back for a few minutes, and then it's not happening. And so I go back to the other guy and say, there's nobody there, because I'm not sure what to do. Like, I want to get breakfast before the place closes up. Also, it looks like they serve a pretty good breakfast. Okay, I'm going to continue down this way, since this should be more in the direction of my hotel. And then I go back to the reception desk and wait again, because the other guy is busy. And finally the lady shows up, and so she gives me the voucher for breakfast. So I go back to the dining room area and take a seat, and the guy comes up to me again and asks for the voucher. I give it to him, and so I sit there and wait for breakfast. So in the meantime, then he brings me the place setting, some toast, an orange juice, and jam. I said I didn't need coffee, but that would have been included. And so I'm waiting there for the rest of breakfast to come along, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and I'm starting to realize that this is just too long for how long it should take for breakfast to arrive. But I always, feel kind of bad about like pestering them, like, where's whatever I ordered, when is it coming? So I kind of wait some more. In the meantime, I decide to spread some jam on the toast. And so I try to, but the jam thing like doesn't open properly, like where you try to like pull the tab and then it breaks off and the tab doesn't open. And so I use this as an excuse to go up to them and ask them about the jam and like get another jam thing, one of those little like, little containers of jam. And so he gives me another jam, and then I ask him, so breakfast is coming? And he looks at me like he's a little confused. And so he then explains, you have a continental breakfast voucher, not the full breakfast, which I'd seen other people eating. And it looked really good with eggs and beans. But it turns out that that was my breakfast. What he'd served me, it was toast and juice. That was it. And then he says that they can make me another full breakfast, but I will have to pay for it. It's only 60 pesos or $3, so no big deal. I'm hungry for a solid breakfast, and so I get the one with the eggs and the beans and stuff. And so I go back to my seat and then try to open the jam, and that one won't open. It's like the same problem where you try to peel off the top of it and it just like comes off without the top coming off. And so the breakfast finally comes, and then I ask him again, do you have another jam? And he gives me another one. And so that's it. That's the story. Kind of a silly one, but just one of the that tends to come up kind of regularly with the communication issues and you know, new situations and not knowing how things work and stuff like that. One of the challenges of traveling, of always being in a new place, new hotel, new city, trying to figure out where to go, what you need. And people may or may not speak your language. Incredible how you can just be in a just random neighborhood of Paris and come across, you know, buildings like this, just this phenomenal old church, it looks like. The city is just so monumental, so large, vast, sprawling. And you can set yourself down just about anywhere, and it is this bustling, happening scene in which you feel like you're kind of at the center of the universe. So I'm definitely looking forward to the next 4 or 5 days of exploring. As for where I'm going after that, I have some ideas. I have one place in particular that is very likely my next destination, but I'm not certain. I haven't checked flights or anything. So people had asked a question in my previous videos of how did I have the warm weather clothing when I arrived in Europe coming from Mexico? And the simple answer, I packed for it, because the plan all along was to spend just a short while in Mexico and then probably go somewhere colder. And so I packed long underwear. I have long underwear on under these jeans, which is one of the reasons why I'm overheating. I'm still too hot, actually. And then 2 shirts on, 2 long sleeve shirts here, both of which have Hindu gods. So we got the Shiva shirt that's been, you know, in a million videos, and then underneath it is a blue one with Ganesha. I think I bought that one in Thailand. Okay, coming to a very dramatic square. Man, oh man, look at this. This is classic Paris right here. People have also been asking me, how do I book my flights? I found this great flight, less than 300 bucks, from Cancun direct to Brussels, Belgium. So I usually look at skyscanner.com first, especially if I'm super flexible and want to check the different prices of flights from wherever I'm departing to various locations and possibly various dates. Then Skyscanner is great for that, because you can plug in everywhere and it will show the cheapest places that you can fly to, and do it for a full month, and then you'll see the cheapest prices over the course of an entire month. And then ideally I like to actually book the flight on Expedia.com, because I have a account with them, and I trust them a lot as far as if there's any problems. And it's also just really easy once you have an account to book the flight. But oftentimes there's a cheaper deal available on another website like trip.com. That might be where I booked that flight to Brussels, on trip.com, but I found it through Skyscanner. I'm getting turned around as far as which direction I should be walking. Just kind of being amazed and getting lost in the feel of Paris. Every which way looks interesting. Liberty for Okalan, whatever Okalan is. Some part of the world, I guess. Let's walk down here a little ways further, and then I will put the camera away and get a little more serious about getting to my hotel and dropping this backpack. This is a pretty interesting scene up ahead. Looks really classic with these restaurants, pâtissière. Parisian restroom. I wonder if they're working. I guess maybe so. So look at this, people waiting in line for bread. Kilo shop. They sell by the kilo, it says, but it's clothing. By the way, this video is filmed with the GoPro for a change from the DJI. So feel free to let me know how it's looking on a wide angle. think that I will finish this video here. Figure out where I'm going. And then lots more coming from Paris. So one last thing, thought that I would capture a little bit of this amazing local market. I can smell fish smell in the air, lots of fruits and vegetables. Seems like this is the real deal as far as a local place to come. Probably great prices.